Hi, welcome back to my channel. This is Psychic Medium Raymond Guzman, and today I'm going to be doing a celebrity psychic reading on Paula Abdul. Now, this was requested by one of my viewers, and I really feel connected to Paula as well. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of background for those of you that would be tuning in who are not from the generation that, Paula was predominantly very well known for. In that time, which was the late 80s, early 90s. So for those of you that don't know who Paula Abdul is, she is a famous dancer, choreographer, TV host, singer, and the list goes on and on. She has a very bubbly personality, and she was known in the movie theaters, like for Cinemark, to be with that cat. So she was always like before the movie started, there was like a preview. And I remember going to the movies when I was a little boy and seeing her on the screen just dancing with this cat. And it was just, she was good then and she's still good now. And, she had hits like Cold Hearted and other top hits, Forever Your Girl. For those of you that are maybe from the 80s or 90s or grew up in that time frame, you would reference that. But there's a lot of newer generations now that would be listening to this and do like and do appreciate the 80s and 90s music. So for those of you that are not aware, that is who Paula Abdul is. So she had a very interesting career early on. For those of you that don't know, she was a cheerleader at one time. I believe it was for the Lakers, but she loved dancing from a very young age. She loved performing. She's always had this fiery spirit to pursue her goals and her dreams. And so that led her to the success that she had. But I do get that early in her career, she put a tremendous amount of pressure on herself to really accomplish what a lot of people her age probably wouldn't have been able to accomplish. And a lot of it wasn't pressure from the record company, but I think it was self-created for her. She is almost like what I would call a perfectionist in everything that she does. So she's always the type of person that she's never going to, produce or give some any kind of work effort, that is sloppy. It always has to be polished and refined and smooth. And I feel like this is where she's really well received and also admired and inspired by a lot of her colleagues and the newer generations that are coming out, because they know that just working with her, she's worked with a lot of artists in choreographing, like with Janet Jackson and a lot of other, popular artists out there. She's helped them choreograph, dance routines and whatnot, including her own videos as well. So she has an extensive background and she has a lovely voice, and she had success, but I feel like it was ultimately there was a price to pay with everything that she all the achievements and accolades that she would have received early on in her career. It took a toll on her relationships, and she was married twice, if I'm not mistaken. And I just feel like with her first marriage with the guy, I believe it was Emilio Estevez, I can't remember if that's the correct name, but her first husband, I'll just reference the first and second husband. With the first husband, I feel like there was a lot of things that were not told to her. She was very young, and I feel even though she was in Hollywood and, in this kind of spotlight, she was a little naive as well. I think that's something that everybody can relate to, when we've never experienced true love, or we've never been in a relationship. For a lot of us, I know that's true for myself, we don't know what to expect, and so there's a lot of walls and fears that tend to come up, and I feel like that's exactly what she had. She had a lot of fear and of the unknown and potential, walls built up around her. But slowly she kind of, allowed these walls to go down and show her more vulnerable side. But at the same time, I feel like he was, very controlling. He didn't like the fact that she dressed a certain way for her public image, for entertainment. She was a performer, but she knew how to differentiate between the two. When she was at home with him, I feel like she was, the conservative girl, the one that, was very much in love and wanted to just be a part of him, but a part of him wanted her outside of her career. I feel like he had an issue with her career and her success, and he wanted to kind of, more impose his will, and he still wanted yet to have his own career, at the same time. So there was a lot of controlling factors, a lot of a lot of arguments that would have taken place. This is what I'm getting from a psychic perspective when I tune into her soul energy and things that she would have relived. And I can hear him saying, to her that she just was all about the fame. She was not the person that he fell in love with. That she lied a lot. And possibly he accused her of cheating on him. But I feel like it was vice versa. But always, when you're dealing with someone, there's always going to be two sides to every story, and there's always going to be things twisted around and reversed. So that's what I kind of get from that relationship. And it ended in a way, I feel like she was devastated when this marriage came to a closure, because it wasn't something that she really had foresaw. She really thought that he was her soulmate, but I really feel like he was more like her twin flame more than anything. With twin flames, there's it's hardly ever going to work out, because there's so many similarities, but yet there's this flight, and chase, run and chase type of thing that goes on. So I really feel like, that was never going to work out. But I do feel like now that she's, much older and wiser and mature, I feel like she is, at a point where she doesn't hold bad blood and she doesn't hold grudges. I feel like she still, is in good communication with him now that the years have passed, and I feel like they would have had a discussion, and laughed about a lot of the things that had happened, early on in their careers and early on in their marriage when they were together. But overall, I feel like she's made peace with this and she's moved on, and now she's in a better spot. Now with her second marriage, I feel like that was very short-lived. I believe it was about 17 months, so almost like 2 years, or a little bit less than 2 years. But that marriage, I feel like, she was more prepared. She knew exactly what she wanted, but I feel like the guy wasn't faithful to her at all. I actually feel like he also would have had some kind of dependencies. This doesn't have to be drugs or alcohol. It could have been smoking or something else, but something drew his attention away from her. And I feel like, at a certain point she saw that and she was like, this cannot continue. I can't continue to have you around me, and this is my career that we're talking about, and so I feel like they just mutually parted ways. I don't feel her very connected to that person, the second guy that she married. So I don't know if they still are in communication at all, but I just feel like she would have, really transitioned away from that. So right now, what I see for Paula going into 2018, 2019 are a lot of projects. This would be music wise. So, she could be recording music now. I don't know, but I do see and I do hear Spirit saying new music is coming out. She's always loved to create music and write it. So I feel like she's a lot more hands-on involved prior, compared to her first albums that came out. I really feel like she's gonna be, surprising a lot of people, and a lot of people that are from the baby boomers or from the 60s and 70s, that were already adults in the 80s when she was there, or people that were teenagers in the 80s would be able to really, that's her fan base and her demographics. But also through her American Idol show, she did garner a lot of new generations, then piqued their interest. So they would be, a lot of people would be interested to see her come back, and I feel like this is a comeback for her. And I also see television projects as well for her over the next 2 years. So Paula is definitely, after American Idol ended, I think a lot of people questioned whether or not she was going to be able to bounce back from that and really come back into the scene. And I really feel like this is the position that she's in right now. She's going to be coming in, and I see all of her, she has that golden touch. So everything that she's going to be involved in is definitely going to turn to gold. I also feel like she's never going to leave her choreographing, her choreography, and she's still working with artists up till now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and helping them, or giving them input. A lot of people, like I said, colleagues that are choreographers right now in the world, they look up to her, because they know that she has a keen eye for detail and she's really good. So I feel like, she's definitely going to be on a show where maybe she may teach choreography, or there's music involved, and she's, going to be giving them the pointers, almost like American Idol, but a little different. And somewhere down the road, I also feel like there's a television appearance, like a movie role for her. And it may be based around music as well, like step two, how that was, something like that almost. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all rolls out for her. But I feel like she did go through a depression after American Idol. I do feel like there was some, there's a lot of acting that goes on. Like I said, Paula's a good actress, and so like between her and Simon Cowell, I think this is a big question. Was there really a romance or any kind of flirtation going on? And I really feel like there were more friends than anything, but a lot of people misinterpreted that. I feel like Simon had a great respect for Paula and would never cross those lines with her. So no, I don't feel like they would have had a relationship at all. A good friendship, yes, but I think a lot of people can misinterpret, because they did show PDA, or that's a public display of affection. But a lot of friends do that, and it doesn't mean that they are intimate in any kind of way. But I really feel like she liked to tease him and saw him more like the big brother that is just goofy and just like to have a good time. But like I said, when you're in the spotlight, a lot of people tend to really kind of turn things around and try to make it into something that it's not. But I really feel like after that, she was kind of, depressed, and she was kind of figuring out her direction again. But she's not one to jump into any projects that, that she doesn't feel like she would be able to really dedicate her time and give it 110%. And I also feel like she's had health issues as well, that have set her back a little bit. Some of these would have been discussed, publicly, but I think a lot of other ones that she is still going through, typically a lot of pain around her bones and her nerves and muscles. So this could be more neurological, but I definitely feel like she has a high pain tolerance, but it did catch up to her with age and with time. And she's still young. She's still a young lady, but um, you know, our bodies go through a lot, and being that she's a dancer and a choreographer, she's put her body through a lot of people that dance, or do any kind of sports or exercise. It really takes a toll on your body, on your bones and your muscles. And I feel like, this is what but she's in ultimate good shape overall. I feel like she takes care of herself, and she constantly is getting checkups, once a year. She's very on top of that. So I feel like, health wise overall, she's really good. Again, I am not a doctor and I can't diagnose, but this is just coming from spirit. So I really feel like she's in a good place right now. And a lot of people are shocked because you look at her and you don't see a 60-year-old. You just don't. I mean, you look at her and you think she's maybe 38, 40, she looks really good for her age. So, kudos to Paula for that, for having good genes and just taking care of herself and really knowing that her body is her temple. And, I feel like she's very at a spiritual place now, and she has a lot more clarity and inner peace. I wouldn't be surprised if she does yoga or meditation to get her through, any kind of, rough periods that she would have, in her life, whether this is anxiety or just worries. It's natural to worry. I feel like she is a worrywart, but she doesn't show it to her friends, but mainly for maybe the people that are closer to her, that are her confidants or know her very personally, would say that, she can be kind of a worrisome person. She does worry about a lot of things in the future. I think one of the key highlights right now about Paula is her love life. And I think a lot of people are questioning, is she ever going to get married again? Is she ever going to be, dating someone? I feel like, there may be someone that she's talking to, maybe just as a friend. She's very guarded. I don't see or feel like she wants to marry. A part of her doesn't want that. So at this point, I don't see marriage for Paula again, like a third marriage. But I do feel like there would be a relationship that she would have. But again, it's all going to depend on her. And she's not stopping anytime soon. She's going to continue with her career. So I feel like she will be working up until her 70s, and then maybe around mid 70s she stops, but anything can happen between here and there, but I just feel like she's very dedicated, so she's going to be living the most out of, this next decade of her life. And I feel like she's going to travel a lot. She's already done a lot of traveling worldwide, but definitely more traveling for her. I feel like she's definitely going to be focused very much on her career and expanding that, and seeing what success she has. And I feel like, she definitely has been approached by American Idol to come back. But I just don't feel like she wants to, without the whole team there. But it'll be surprising, there could be a reunion. Just putting that out there, you just never know what can happen. Everything is up in the air. But for Paula, on her spiritual side, I would say that there's a lot of messengers for her, that messengers that are from the spirit realm that are really, trying to get her to pay attention to certain aspects of her life that may need changing, whether this is, like I said, around her love life, putting a guard up. But I do see that. And I also feel like there may be someone that is around her right now that is either like a friend or someone who kind of guides her. But I feel like this person is always in her ear and always giving her advice, but some of it may not be something that she really matches up to or feels in sync with. So my best advice to her is to just pay attention to your inner gut, Paula, and what you feel, and don't necessarily go by all the whispers or the people that are whispering in your ear and telling you, what is best for you, because I think that you are very intuitive and you just know exactly what needs to come next. So I also feel like there's a lot of more about Paula that we don't know about that she may reveal in the next couple of years through maybe an interview or interview or appearances that she would be having this coming year or sooner. But there's a lot of talk from spirit that things that are in the darkness that are going to be illuminated. So this could be health issues that she hasn't discussed, or different situations that were never discussed, but I see them coming to the light, and really, her being in a good spot. But everything in her life right now seems to show and indicate that it's a constant flow of energy. She's not resisting any opportunities. I do feel like she's open to anything and everything that is possibly coming into her life, and I do feel a strong male energy that would be around her. So it's interesting that we shall see, her, whether she comes out in the spotlight with her personal life and who she's seeing, or who she would potentially be interested in. But I really feel like there is a male, that is interested in her at this time. So yeah, this is what I see for Paula Abdul. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you did like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and Instagram. And if you would like to set up a private reading with me, you can go to my website. That's www.raymondguzman.net/shop. And also, if you have any other celebrities that you would recommend for me to do a celebrity or mediumship reading, please go ahead and comment in the comment section below. Have an amazing day. Blessings and love and light.